Now, a village in the Brecon Beacons will tonight become one of the first in Britain to start generating its own electricity.
Yes, in Talybont on Usk, water in a reservoir is being harnessed to generate electricity. And in the next few minutes, the turbines will be switched on for the first time.
Well, our reporter Heath Jeffries is there for us tonight. Heath, over to you.
Thanks very much, Lucy. Yes, this is a prime example of people power bringing power to the people. You can see the show of strength here tonight. Massive support for this project that's been 4.5 years in the making. Now, in a moment, Rodri Morgan is going to formally switch it on, but first, I've been to see how it works.
The challenge is climate change, and 4 years ago, villagers in Talybont on Usk rose to face it. The plan, a clean green scheme to generate 240 megawatts of electricity a year, enough to power their whole village.
Like all the very best ideas, it's very, very simple and relies on gravity, channeling water underground for 30 metres downhill to this turbine station where it generates electricity.
We were looking for opportunities around the village, and we went to the water treatment works with our consultant Stillas, who were looking at what we could do, and we got a rusty key and opened this door, and there was the turbine house just waiting for a turbine to go back in. So we were really excited at that point.
So the turbine chugs away 24 hours a day, and when there's extra wet weather, that means extra power for the national grid. It may be a small start, but it's hoped other water power schemes will cut down greenhouse gases across the country.
It's triggered the thought that it can be done, and it all contributes to the total number of megawatts of power that the country needs, generates, and it helps towards getting that 10% of renewables that we have to eventually achieve to meet the Kyoto obligations.
The bizarre thing is, working turbines once flourished here, but fell into disuse decades ago. Now, renewable is back. No pollution, no asthma, no acid rain. And it never, ever runs out.
Well, this is the big moment. We're going to ask Rodri Morgan to formally switch on the hydroelectric power scheme, and the crowd are going to join us in a quick countdown from 5 to 0. Rodri, if you'd switch it on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Well done, well done. Rodri, what does renewable energy mean to you?
I think it's a green form of energy, and in this case it's an idea that came from the people. They knew that there was something buried underneath that stone building, and all it had to do was to have the turbine that had been decommissioned reinstalled with a modern version of a turbine that could then generate power with no CO2 going to the atmosphere, so that in the future, every community in Wales, if they could make a contribution like that to making us a greener country, then we know that global warming can be controlled, it can be suppressed, and by the time the old-timers like me hand the planet on and hand Wales on to the younger generation, like these kids here, they will have made their contribution to a better Wales and a greener Wales.
What about our targets for 2010? Are we going to meet those, do you think?
I'm reasonably confident, and certainly if we can get more community involvement, this is the classic example of community involvement giving a leaner, cleaner, and greener Wales.
Thanks very much. And Mike Bugler, you were instrumental in this scheme as well. How did you come up with the idea of putting this together?
It came from the Brecon Beacons National Park. They did some brainstorming and came up with the idea of recommissioning the turbine, and so then we had to form a company and organise funds, and we had plenty of grants from the government, and 4.5 years later
we've got here,
and today is a culmination.
And the key thing is, of course, you can reinvest some of the money, the £17,000 that you get from the grid, and put it into other renewable sources as well.
We certainly will do that, and one of the projects we hope to do is to put photovoltaic cells on the roof here and have further green energy from that as well.
Great. Thanks very much, and thanks from all of us here, and now back to you in the studio.
What a great green project. Heath Jeffries in Talybont on Usk, thanks very much.